move your stuff out of the way just so you have a clear space to work with. And then we'll start on that length of the spine. So roller down on the ground, right away, just sit your butt down onto the tail end of your roller. And then with some control, come down the length of your spine. Take your time as you find your way there. And then we just want to get it so that the tailbone and the head are supported on the roller. Once you've got your way here, step your feet out just to a point where you can kind of let the knees drop in towards each other. So for in yoga, we come into constructive rest, and then let your arms come out in a big wide T. Palms facing up, backs of the hands heavy into the earth. And don't worry if your hands don't touch the ground, but if they can touch the ground, go ahead and let them. Taking a moment here just to come back to your breath, allowing just a little time for your central nervous system to reset. And as you start to catch your breath here, see if you can just notice as you breathe in and out, can you feel that gentle, subtle movement in that space between your shoulder blades along the roller? Take one more moment here in this pretty neutral position. And then we're going to lift the knees away from each other. So if you were in that constructive rest position, now we're going to lift the knees away from each other so our feet just feel a little bit more solid on the ground. And then we're going to think about pulling the backs of the ribs into the roller. So we just want to firm up our center on the roller. So think about pushing the backs of the ribs down, and then we're just going to take it into the right arm. So left hand is going to flip so the fingers are tented and you just get that little extra support from your left hand. But now we're just going to work with the right arm. So it's going to reach up alongside your ear, big circle around towards the hip, and then swing it back around and up. So we're going to take a couple of nice big circles, just the right arm. Feet are helping support you stabilized. The backs of the ribs are pressing into the roller, and the left hand is helping you support. Take one more circle around, and then we're going to reverse directions, go the other way. Beautiful. One more circle around, and then we're going to switch to the other arm. So right hand's going to reach out with the fingers flipped down. So we tent the fingers and use a little support there. And now the left arm is going to do the work. So we're going to circle around, nice, big, generous circles. Feet are solid on the ground. Backs of the ribs are pressing into the roller. Awesome. One more circle around in this direction, and then reverse directions, go the other way. Nice. One more circle around, and then we're going to reach both arms up to the sky. So feet solid on the ground, backs of the ribs pressing into the roller. Arms are going to reach out straight from the chest with the palms facing in towards each other. We're going to pull the shoulder blades down, hugging them around the roller like you're trying to crush the roller with your shoulder blades, and then reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling and let your shoulders round. Pull the shoulder blades down, squeeze around the roller, reach your fingertips up and let your shoulders round. Do that one more time. Pull the shoulder blades down, hug and squeeze. Reach the fingertips up, let the shoulders round. And now find a fairly neutral position with the shoulders. And now we're going to flip the palms so palms are facing towards the knees and take it into like a swimmer. So we're going to reach one arm up, one arm down, and then meet in the middle and switch. If you can get that reach down to the ground on both ends, take it as far as your body will allow. So find a little stretch and reach so that the fingertips touch the ground, and then bring it back to center. Still keeping a fairly stable position with the spine, legs are steady, and the backs of the ribs are pulling into the roller. Awesome. One more time each side, or even yourself out. And then we're going to bring our arms back out to that T, palms facing up. Let everything relax again. Soften your knees in towards each other so we get that constructive rest position, a little restful, so the legs help support, but they don't have to effort too much. Let your chest be nice and open. Take 3 nice big breaths here. Beautiful. Now we're going to flip the palms. So palms are going to face down and we're going to slide the hands in. So arms are going to be about anatomical position. So maybe about 45 degrees away from the body. Tent your fingers. So hands are going to help support. And now toe heel to feet in. So feet are about hip width distance apart. Starting with a pelvic tilt. So we're going to press the low back into the roller and then release to the natural curve of your back. Press your low back into the roller, release to the natural curve of your back. Press your low back down and release. Press down and release. Do that one more time. Press down and release. And now keeping a fairly neutral spine. So hip points in line with the pubic bone, backs of the ribs reaching down into the roller, hands tented. Now we're going to take it into some alternating knee lift. So right leg is going to lift. Everything else is going to stay as steady as it can. Lower that foot back down. Left leg is going to lift. Everything else stays as steady as it can. And lower it back down. Beautiful. Back to that right leg. Lift up. Everything else stays as stable as it can. And lower it down. Take it to the left. Lift up. And lower down. Beautiful. One more time each side. Right leg is going to lift. And lower down. Nice job. Take it to the left. Lift. And lower down. Beautiful. Now we're going to roll off the roller with control. So roll over and off to one side. Swing that roller out in front of you, and then we're going to spin it around to take it into a tabletop position. So come onto all fours, and then if you can, place that roller just underneath your hands, and we'll move right into a cat-cow. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale to round your back, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your tail. Exhale to round your back. Lovely. One more time, just like that. Inhale, drop your belly. Exhale, round your back. And then inhale to a neutral spine, move it right into heart melting or puppy pose. So walk the roller forward, keep your hips fairly in line with your knees. Drop your chest down, take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out, but now we're going to keep the left hand on the roller. Pull your belly up just a little bit so you can release your right hand. And now we're going to take that right hand and thread it through and underneath. So right ear, right shoulder are going to twist towards the ground. They might not reach the ground. Don't worry about that, but get a little reach through the left hand. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Push into your left hand a little bit so you can lift back up to center. And now right hand on the roller, left hand's going to lift up and thread through. Left ear, left shoulder towards the ground, but it does not matter if they touch the ground. Add a little bit of reach through that right arm and then come back to your breath. Nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. Push gently into that right arm. Lift up. And now we're going to pull that roller on up and in, but now scooch it over to the side. So we're going to work one shin and then the other. So we're going to place the knee up and over the roller. And then we're going to just start by just pulling the knee towards the elbow, rolling straight across the top of the shin. So you might be on the bone just a little bit, and you might feel a little work slightly towards the outer edge of the shin. Cool. One more in and out just like that. And then we're going to externally rotate to knee. So swing the leg out just a little bit so you find that muscle that runs along the inside of the shin bone. And then once you feel like you've kind of figured that out, back to that rolling up and in. Nice. One more roll in and out. And then step that leg off the roller and we're going to take it right over to the other side. So we're going to slide it over and across your mat. Pop that left leg onto the roller, knee pointing down to start, and we're just pulling the knee towards the elbow and pushing back. Yes, nice. Beautiful. One more in and out. And then when you're ready, externally rotate. So we're going to swing the knee out just a little bit so we find that muscle that runs inside of the shin. And then once you feel like you're there, pulling the knee towards the elbow and then pushing away. Awesome. One more in and out. And then when you're ready, pop that knee off the roller. We're going to bring it back over and across to the right. But now we're going to come down onto our belly and we're going to spin the roller out sideways so that we can work the inner thigh. So we're going to pop the right leg over the roller and then we're going to bring it so that the heel can drop down towards the ground. So once you've got your way there, knee comes past the roller and then we're going to do that little lift of the heel and lower it down. Beautiful. One more lift and lower. And then keeping the heel slightly lifted. Now we're going to kind of rock the hips a little side to side. So you move about 2 or 3 inches, working that inner thigh. Wonderful. One more little rock in and out. And then we're going to just move that roller up and in just a little bit. So find that midpoint of your inner thigh. Heel is over the edge. And then we're just going to do that little lift and lower. So lift your heel and lower it back down. Wonderful. One more lift and lower here. And then we're just going to keep the heel slightly lifted and give a little rock in and out. So it's about 2 inches of movement of that inner thigh. Beautiful. One more little rock in and out. And then when you're ready, we're just going to lift up, move that roller in just as close to the inner thigh as you can get without getting into the groin or that like hip crease area. So we're still on that inner thigh muscle. And then once you feel like you're there, back to that lift and lower of the heel. Just make sure everything feels comfortable here. If there's anything that's kind of pinching or catching, readjust your roller so it feels like, you know, that hurts. So good work, but no shooting pain or like you're pinching nerves up in that area. Wonderful. One more up and down with that leg, and then keep the heel slightly lifted and give a little bit of a rock in and out. Beautiful. One more little rock in and out. And then we're going to pick that leg up and off the roller, move it on up just a little bit. And then we're just going to take a couple of big giant rolls of the bicep. So we're going to lay the right arm across the roller so that the arm is in a comfortable position, and then just kind of move your shoulders from side to side. A big, generous movement. I find that just pushing into my left arm so I can roll the arm across the roller is the way to go. Yes, nice work. Wonderful. One more roll in and out. And then we're going to take that roller and pass it over to the other side. So if you like, you can just stay just as you are, swing it across your body. And then we're going to pop that left inner thigh onto the roller. Get it just to the point where the knee is past the edge of the roller, and then find that lift of the heel. So we just lift the heel up and lower it down. Beautiful. One more lift up and down. And then we keep the heel slightly lifted and rock the hips a little side to side. Cool. One more rock side to side, and then we're going to move on up and in. So we're going to move that roller in about an inch or two, heel over the edge of the roller, and then we're back to that heel lift. So we lift the heel up and lower it down. Beautiful. One more lift up and down. And then we keep the heel slightly lifted just so it's up off the ground, and then rock your hips side to side. Nice. One more little rock side to side, and then we're going to move it on up and in one last time. So getting a little bit closer to the groin area. So just make sure that it's in a good, comfortable position and you feel like you're still on the muscle tissue of the inner thigh. Once you're there, find that lift and lower of the heel again. One more lift and lower, and then that heel finds that fairly neutral position and we rock it in and out. Wonderful. One more rock in and out. And then we're going to lift that leg up and off the roller, move the roller up just a little bit so you can drop your left arm across the roller, and then with a nice big amount of movement. So I use my right hand to just kind of push into and roll my arm across the roller. Beautiful. Nice. One more big rock in and out. And then as you come back in, push both hands into the ground. Push your way all the way up to a tabletop position. We're going to turn the roller sideways, and then we're going to take it into a little extended child's pose. So big toes together, knees out nice and wide. Walk your knees to the outer edges of your mat. pull your butt back towards your heels. And then if you're wearing glasses, I'll just recommend that you take them off, set them somewhere safe. And then we're going to bring the roller in so it can be at that third eye center or the space across the forehead. So start by choosing the place that feels the most comfortable to rest. So whether that's the forehead or the space between your eyes, totally up to you. But then once you're there, just allow for a moment here to let your head get nice and heavy. And though our roller might feel like the place of focus, there's a lot of work happening down in the hip area, in the knee area, and the low back area. So with your head resting comfortably, now see if you can just tune in and notice, how do your knees feel? Can you relax your thigh muscles? Can you relax your low back? And then once you feel like you've got your thigh muscles softer and your low back is feeling like it's in a relaxed position, now start to gently turn your head side to side. Wonderful. One more turn of the head side to side. And then we're going to reposition the head on the roller. So if you work the forehead, now you might go that third eye center, that space between your eyebrows. If you're working the space between your eyebrows, maybe you move it up along the forehead or closer to the hairline. So reposition your head. And then once you're there, come back to that rock of the head side to side. Awesome. One more rock of your head side to side. And then as you come back to center, gently lift your head up away from the roller. If you took your glasses off, take a second to put them back on. And now we're going to lift up and over and we're going to move that roller in so that we can work the tops of the thighs. So you're going to walk your knees in, place that roller underneath your thighs, and then give it support. So elbows and forearms on the ground, toes down. And then we're going to see if we can just let the toes drag and take that big giant roll from the tops of the thighs where the hips are all the way down to where the thighs meet the knees. Beautiful. One more big roll up and down, and then we're going to find the middle of the thighs. So find that midpoint, that nice, thick, meaty part of the thighs. And then once you feel like you're there, pause for a moment, brace your shoulders to make sure that there's just that sort of pushing away from the ground sensation, belly's nice and firm, and then bend your knees, swish your heels side to side. Awesome. One more swish of those heels side to side. And then as you come back to center, float the toes down, push your way up and off that roller, come up with control. And then we're going to swing the roller out to the side. So we set up into a little mermaid. So, so mermaid out to the side. So your roller out to the side and then swing your legs out. So one leg in front, one leg out to the side in that sort of 90-90 position. And then the leg that's in front, that's the side that the roller is going to be on. Once you've got your way there, hand on the roller, other arm is going to reach up. So we lean out, find that big side bend, and then lift up with control. So use the muscles in the side body, lift up and take a little counter stretch, reaching away. Beautiful. Hand to the roller, roll out, keep some control in your side body. Beautiful. Lift up and then take that counter stretch. Awesome. One more time here. Hand to the roller, lean out. Lift up with control, take that counter stretch, and then we're going to rotate towards the roller. So both hands are going to find the roller. And now we're going to walk it in just a little bit closer so we can push our hands into the roller. Lift your chest as you rotate and take a nice big breath. And now see if you can keep that kind of length and upward lifting sensation through the spine, but now walk the roller out just a little bit with a little reach through the arms, keeping that long lifted spine, but in that twisted position. And then just reach out nice and long, finding a little bit of fold. Just go to a depth that feels good to you. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Pull back up with a bit of control. And then we're going to take it and spin it to the other side. So swing your legs out and around, take that roller, just bring it over and across the other way, get yourself situated. So find your zigzag seat, make sure everything feels good. And then once you're there, hand on the roller, we roll out, top arm lifts, get that big side bend, Beautiful. With control, come up and then take that counter stretch. Nice. Hand to the roller, roll out. Beautiful. With control, lift up and take your counter stretch. Awesome. One more time here. Hand on the roller, we roll out. Nice. Lift up with control, take the counter stretch, and then both hands are going to find the roller. We're going to walk the roller in a little bit closer to the body so that you can push into the roller and then think upward lifted with the chest, upward lifted through the crown of your head. Take a nice big breath. Wonderful. And then keeping that lifting up sensation, but now walking it out. So we're going to walk the roller out nice and long. Watch out, kitty. And then take it to a point where you feel like that's your edge, but keeping that long position with the spine. So softening into that fold to the best of your ability. Take a nice deep breath in. Slow breath out. Beautiful. And then push into your hands. Lift back up with control. We're going to spin the legs out in front of us, and then we're going to move the roller on so that we can take it into the back of the body. So we're going to place it so that we can find that bottom edge of the shoulder blades. Lower yourself down and then give yourself a second to get there. Make sure your clothes are in a good position. Make sure everything feels right. Hands behind the head. And then we're going to add the breath. Inhale as you reach back. Exhale, contract the abdominal muscles, lift the chest. Beautiful. Inhale and lean back. Exhale to come up. One more just like that. Inhale, lean back. Exhale, come up, crisscross your arms across the chest, and then start to find a little bit of a rock side to side. Nice. Now the next time you roll over to the right, stay there, push into your feet, lift your butt up, and then give a nice good roll up and down. Beautiful. One more roll up and down. And then set your butt down, come back to center, switch the cross in your arm, so other arm on top, and then come back to that rock side to side. And then just know if you need to reposition your roller, take a second to do it. Sometimes I just do this little walk where I kind of shove the roller back down underneath my shoulder blades, but just make sure it feels like it's in a happy position. And then the next time you come over to the left, stay there, push into your feet, lift your butt up, and roll up and down. Beautiful. One more roll up and down. And then set your butt down, come back to center. We're going to release our grip from our shoulders. Arms are going to come into that cactus or goal pose position. Lift your butt up, glide up to the tops of the shoulders and let your arms reach up alongside your ears. And then as you pull down, pull the elbows back to shoulder height. Reach up, arms reach, roller comes to the tops of the shoulders, pull the elbows down, and come back down under the shoulder blades. Beautiful. Take a few more like that. Just find a good pace that works good for you. If at any point this does not feel good to your head and your neck and you're efforting too much, bring your hands right back behind the head and keep it supported. So do the work that feels the best to you. One more big up and down. And then the next time you come towards the tops of the shoulders, release your butt down with control. Lift up with your head and then place the roller underneath your skull. So underneath that nice strong structure of your skull bone. Once you're there, just make sure everything else is pretty comfortable. Arms out in a nice wide position and just rock your head side to side. The next time your head turns to the right, stay there. Take a little nod of the head up and down. One more nod up and down. And then next time you turn your head to the left, stay there. Take a few nods of the head up and down. Beautiful. One more nod up and down. And then bring your head back to center, hands to the outer edges of your roller. Lift your head up and away. And then we're just going to take that roller and pop it right underneath our knees. So underneath the bend of your knees, walk it nice and close to your butt, and then lift your hips up. Pull that roller underneath your hips so that it's underneath that nice strong structure of your hip bones. And then once you're there, come back to that restful position with the arms. So arms back to that anatomical position. And then see if you can just allow just gravity and your breath to do just a little bit of work for you here. So invite some softness into the low belly, softness through the front of your hips. Let your shoulder heads get soft and heavy into the ground, and then take 3 nice deep breaths. Hands are going to find the outer edges of the roller just to keep it in place, and then pull both knees up. Make sure the roller feels good underneath your butt, and then keeping a little bit of a hug between those inner thighs. Take your knees, draw them in circles, go in one direction. Take your knees, draw them in circles, go the other way. Beautiful. And then we're going to come back to center. Float your feet up towards the ceiling. We're going to take 3 times with the fluid movement, and then we're going to hold for 1. So we're going to open the legs out nice and wide, and then pull them back together. Open the legs out nice and wide, and then pull them back together. Check and make sure the roller feels like it's good underneath you. Open your legs nice and wide, pull them back together. And now we're going to open the legs up nice and wide and think about letting the inner thighs get nice and super heavy. So if you have a good hold of the roller and you feel like the roller is underneath your hips and you want just that little extra something, release your hands from the edges of your roller and just let the weight of your hands rest on your inner thighs. So we're not pushing the thighs down, but just adding that gentle bit of weight. Soften the inner thighs best you can, soft and heavy in your feet. Take 1 more breath. Awesome. Release your hands from the inner thighs. Help your legs come back together. Bend your knees, set your feet down, lift your hips up off the roller. And then we're going to come up into a seated position, but then we're just going to sit right up onto the roller. So pop your butt up and over. And then once you're there, step your feet to a nice wide configuration. Start to find that little windshield wiper action with the knees. Nice. And then take it into that bigger movement, rolling across the butt, over to the right, and then over to the left. Nice. And then the next time you come over to the right, stay there. Give a couple of good rolls up and down. This is my happy finish. 1 more roll up and down here. And then when you're ready, we're going to take it over to the left, take it over and across, and then find that nice roll up and down. Beautiful. 1 more roll up and down. And then when you're ready, take it back to center, hands onto the roller, step your feet in, and we're going to push into our hands, lift your butt up away from the roller, and then see if you can just let your hands float to the ground and find a little bit of a forward fold. Bend your knees a little bit, and then stretch your butt up towards the sky. Bend your knees a little bit and stretch your butt up towards the sky. 1 more here. Bend your knees a little bit, stretch your butt up towards the sky. And then with a soft bend in the knees, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll on up to a standing position. Take your time, and then take a couple of shrugs of your shoulders. You guys are amazing. Nice work today. Be sure to drink plenty of water after rolling out.